Good day everyone, I am Viann Limas from base HM3B and today I am going to report Chapter 13, Labor Law. So our learning objectives enumerate the classification of employees, their benefits, privileges, and policies affecting them, and identify some best practices in handling human resource in tourism establishment, identify the procedures in handling sexual harassment in the workplace, and explain the rights of workers employed in tourism establishments. So in this chapter, it deals with the important provisions governing labor laws as well as the benefits, privileges, and policies affecting employees. So we have constitutional provisions on labor. So the law, Section 3, the state shall afford full protection to labor, local and overseas, organized, and promote full employment and equality of employment opportunities for all. Then we have Section 14. The state shall protect working women by providing safe and healthful working conditions. Section 15. The state shall respect the role of independent people's organizations. And last, Section 16. Right of the people and their organizations to effectively and reasonably participate at all levels of social, political, and economic decisions. So, discussion of the law. So, the state shall promote shared responsibility between workers and employees. Thus, the workers shall also participate in policy and decision-making process affecting their rights and benefits and may be provided by law. So the state also protects the right of the working women by assuring them safe and healthful conditions of work and opportunities to maximize their full potentials in the service of the nation. Classification of employees. So we have first regular employees. So the employees who are deemed regular. Then we have casual employees, those whose employment is neither regular, project, nor seasonal as defined under Article 280 of the Labor Code. Then we have seasonal employees, so those whose work or service is seasonal in nature and the employment is for the duration of the season. Then project employees, so it is the one whose employment has been fixed for a specific project or undertaking, the completion or termination of which has been determined at the time. Probationary employee, so it is the one who is on trial by an employer during which the employer determines whether or not he is qualified for the permanent employment. Then we have employees for a fixed term. So these are employees conveyed in the employment contracts providing for the term employment or fixed period employments. Then overseas Filipino workers, so also referred as migrant worker. Overseas Filipino worker refers to the person who is to be engaged, is engaged, or has been engaged in a remunerated activity in a state of which he or she is not a legal resident. Special workers. So we have first apprentices. So it is a worker who is covered by a written apprenticeships agreement with an individual employer or any of their recognized entities. Then second is learners. So are persons hired as trainees in a semi-skilled and other industrial occupations which are non-apprenticeable and which may be learned through practical training. Then we have handicapped workers. So are those whose earning capacity is impaired by age or physical or mental deficiency or injury. Benefits, privileges, policies affecting employees. So we have minimum wage. Underlines the effort of the state to promote productivity, improvement, and earn sharing measures to ensure the decent standard of living for the workers and their privileged families. So, and also we have collective bargaining. So conferring promptly and in good faith for the negotiating agreements with respect to wages, hours of work, and etc., and entering into the written contracts, adjustments of grievance, and etc. Then we have Labor Management Council, so it serves the right of an individual employee or group of employees to present grievances to their employer at any time. Maternity and paternity leave, so covered under Public Act number 8282, also known as the Social Security Act of 1997. Under the said law, a female member or need not to be married who has paid at least 3 monthly contribution in the 12-month period immediately preceding semester of her childbirth or miscarriage shall be paid daily maternity benefits equivalent of 100% after average daily salary credit for 60 days or 78 days. Then we have union rights, strikes, and lockouts. So strike means temporary stoppage of work by the concerted action of employees as a result of a labor or industrial dispute. Then lockout means temporary refusal of an employer to furnish work as a result of an industrial or labor dispute. Service charge. So all service charges collected by hotels, restaurant, and similar establishment shall be distributed at the rate of 85% for all covered employees and 15% for management. Then employment contract. So it is that by virtue of which one person binds himself with respect to another to place at the service of the latter his own efforts in work, and the latter in turn agrees to pay him a compensation proportional to the time or to the quantity of the work of done. Then we have death benefits. So in case of work related deaths, beneficiaries will receive death benefits under the employee's compensation and the state insurance funds in addition to the benefits under the SSS law. Then we have health benefits. So in case of work-related sickness, the covered employee will be entitled to medical services, appliance, and supplies in addition to the benefits under the SSS law. Drug testing. So drug testing shall be done by any government forensic laboratories or by any of the drug testing laboratories accredited and monitored by the DOH or to the safeguard the quality of the test result. Then we have retirement, so also known as the new retirement law. So any employee may be retired upon reaching the retirement age established in the collective bargaining or other applicable employment contract. Then we have uniform policies. So require the employees and staff to be well groomed and should wear clean and smart uniforms. So uniform policies in these establishments are prerequisite requirements in order to be accredited by the Department of Tourism. SSS, PhilHealth, Employees Compensation and Pag-ibig. So employees in the private sector are covered under the SSS law and others wherein the mission is to promote and perfect sound and viable tax-exempt social security system suitable to the need of the people. Then we have termination of employment. So it is the constitutional right of workers to security of tenure and the right to be protected against dismissal except for just and authorized cause without prejudice to the requirement of notice. Law against discrimination. So the law. Article 3, Declaration of Basic Policy. So the state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulate the relations between workers and employers. Then we have employment of women. So it is the policy of the state to protect the working women by providing safe and healthful working conditions, taking into account their maternal functions. So, such facilities and opportunities that will enhance their welfare and enable them to their full potential in the service of the nations. Then we have sexual harassment in the workplace. So under Public Act number 7877, sexual harassment is committed by an employer, employee, manager, supervisor, agent of the employee, or any other persons. Best labor practices in tourism establishments. So it will be noted that 90% of the selected respondents agree that it is imperative to have a proactive and supportive human resources department, which will be instrumental in enhancing the welfare of the employees and helping the company towards its growth and investments. So, an open door policy with the president or general manager of the company is most welcome, as it has proven to be the most effective means of removing the barriers of communication and enhancing a shared responsibility of nationhood between capital and labor. So that's all in my report about Chapter 13, Labor Law. So I hope that you've learned something. Thank you for listening and God bless.